Right, hi guys, welcome to Cardiff. And you're the Kabeedies, of course, so for the viewers at home, perhaps you could introduce yourself, starting with...
I'm Evan, and I play guitar and sing.
I'm Katie, and I sing and dance around like a loony.
Right.
I'm Rory, and I sing and play bass.
Okay.
I'm Fab, and I play the drums.
And have
Excellent.
a rather queer beverage.
Yeah, have a lovely cocktail as well while I'm at it.
Two for the price of one.
Yes,
Right,
indeed.
okay, and I've got 20 questions here, and I thought right at the end I'll try and guess what you're thinking. You know, based on the 20 questions. So
Because we have a
think of
collective
something,
mindset
you know.
that thinks of one thing.
That's it. Yeah. So well, I'll ask one of you. You know. Okay. So first question is it's around about 3 years since I interviewed two of you the first time in for the Waiting Room Radio Show, Howard Gardens in Cardiff. I'm just wondering, how is this a different Kabeedies from back then, or perhaps the same? I don't know. Really.
It is different Kabeedies.
Very different.
We're not scrotty teenagers. Well, it's not scrotty, but we're not teenagers anymore.
Right.
And I think we've grown up a bit with sounds.
Yeah, we've probably grown up musically, not so much people.
But yeah, we're still kind of making fun dance around music, but.
With
I
a
think
little
there's
edge of
a bit
sophistication.
more going
We've
on.
actually thought about it a little bit longer.
Yeah. It was rather than we need to write loads of songs so we can go on tour and just be idiots. We've gone, let's write some songs.
Some actual songs
Yeah,
this
that's
time.
songs.
Okay. Still playing the quiz machines and that at most
Oh
venues.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hitbox was
Hitbox,
first on the
yeah.
agenda.
Yeah. Okay. So the new album's out, Soap. Are you pleased with it? And how chuffed are you to be signed to Fierce Panda?
Very chuffed with
Very
the album, very
nice.
chuffed with
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the first time I think we've been really proud of a record out of two. So 1 out of 2 is not bad.
Yeah. Great.
Because we took so much time over this one, it just felt like we actually put ourselves into it rather than just putting out a collection of songs. It was a whole package. It was so much nicer. It feels so much more fulfilling.
Yeah.
I think with Fierce Panda, it's one of those labels that they're not like, oh, it's amazing you've signed to Ireland or whatever, but as a musician, it's the kind of label you really, really want to work
Yeah,
with.
definitely.
So many people have come up to us and been like, oh my god, you're on Fierce Panda,
Yeah,
that's
well,
so
you know,
cool.
Great DIY label.
Great reputation. Yeah. Okay. And first track, Hang Ups of the West. What would you say are the hang-ups of the West?
Oh,
Right, here we
God,
go.
no, don't get him started.
Western imperialism,
Right.
consumerism, Americanization. I mean, the raping of African materials. I mean, it's just endless. War for oil.
Why did you, why?
Why did you do
It's
Why?
just capitalism in general, really.
Primark.
Yeah, I've got a particular vendetta against Primark
Right.
with their low
Top shop.
prices.
Miss
Yeah.
Selfridge.
Top shop.
I think
And that
what's
Nestle
the
guy, what is his problem?
fantastic marketing with Primark. Just change the type of carrier bag, and then the sales go crazy. But yeah, right, okay. But forgetting about the hang-ups of the West, sounds like sort of typical Kabeedies type of thing. Because you've always come across a sort of group of people that don't care too much about things and just like to have fun, kind of thing, I suppose.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, I don't know, actually.
We've
I
all
think
got
we
our
all,
underlying.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the
That's
secrets.
just so-
Yeah, the secrets in the lyrics. I think with the songs, it's all kind of. It's pretty much happy-go-lucky with most of the songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
But there's
all,
always something underneath. There's always
like, all
a
the
reason.
songs we've written, like we all write lyrics and
I think it's all
Each-
things we care about deeply.
yeah, but they kind of we've managed. I think we've kind of found a way of portraying what we're thinking in
And
a way
dancing
that people won't really get.
So you're just sort of subtly
Yeah,
trying
there
to...
are stories.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
the story is essentially
And-
subtle. I think it always translates to having fun or being carefree, because on stage I think is probably the one point in our lives that we literally don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
So-
all got kind of a senile lack of control of our vocabulary as well. So.
I mean,
Yeah,
when I'm
we
at
make-
home, all I do is think about problems in the world.
Right, yeah. So go out on tour and you can forget about it to some extent, yeah. Go
I
back and worry
have
about
a lot of problems on tour. I have 3 right here.
Yeah,
I leave
yes,
my
yeah.
Derby behind. When I
I've
go
just
on
got
tour.
problems. Just got problems.
it. Okay, well, I'm not going to get too deep and philosophical here, but yeah, I mean, actually, well, you were saying about your age though, but I saw something in the Echo that said you're still under 18. That's
No.
That's definitely not
That'd be
true.
amazing.
I think I might have said that in an interview.
Did you
Right.
actually?
Yes, Rory. Yes, well done.
Managed to go
Lie.
back in age.
We
That's
do
our
lie
press
quite
age
a
now.
lot.
Right.
Yeah, we've got a press age.
Only
14,
for kind of not for things like that normally, because that's a lie that people might think we're trying to get somewhere with. But
Usually just
probably
lies
not
to make.
sign a record contract or something. But
Rory, I mean, we're still young. Rory's you 20.
Well, I'm the oldest.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
20.
Rory's 20.
Not that old.
Okay, 21.
Okay.
He's 22.
you must have been pretty young when I first met you then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
12.
Right. So anyway, given it's so easy to release music via the internet, how important do you think it is still to have a record label and a manager and all of that sort of thing? All the traditional sort of...
It's important for I think it's important for different things compared to how it used to be. Like you can do most of the things that people would have done to try and find success in the 60s, 70s without now, but there are so many new things that have come in that you need a manager for now.
Right.
And like all the things like radio pluggers and stuff like that managers kind of seek out and find who's good at, or like our manager does everything. So
Yeah, without our
He's-
manager, we'd be buggered.
I think
Yeah,
this as well.
I
I
don't know where
think
I
you get a big
was.
thing with. I think now, even now, like you've got a young band who've just started at whether who think that straight away, if they want to be successful, they need to do certain things like get a manager or do something. I think what's good with the internet is a new band can release and put up an EP on the internet without anyone's help.
Yeah.
you
But
don't
it's still
need.
there.
You don't need.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you necessarily need anyone's help. There are specific industry things that always give you a leg up that only the people in the industry are going to know about, because any fresh-faced, naive young band are not going to go, right, we need a radio plug, because that's not what comes across your mind.
Yeah.
When you have a label, they're going to know exactly where to hit because they've been there so many times before.
Yeah,
it's just experience, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's much more than that.
But then coming to a manager, I mean, you know, I think a lot of young bands perhaps don't think you really need to worry about that. But I mean, in terms of touring and everything, when that's, I think there's too many bands. They might sort of put out some music on the net and think that's our job, But I think touring is, for me, it's still the most important thing,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
for
I think
a band.
Getting your name out
It's hugely
across the
important.
country is so huge.
I
And
think-
it's
I think it's
playing
not
live
even
music
across-
as well. It's playing music in the form that you wrote it in as well.
Yeah.
I think it's not even across the country anymore. I think it's across the
The
world.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just the West.
I want some shows in China.
Okay. So I mean, and, despite the fact the band's still growing, your manager Craig, Rory's dad, so you still got your dad as your manager. Do you think so? Is he in the long haul? In for the long haul?
Yeah.
Never be able to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's a changed man.
He's changed
Well,
as
he's
well.
given up his
Of course,
business.
like him and Rory. I remember the first tour, and it was all quite awkward, and like even though they spent every day, but such a different thing.
I don't remember.
And now it was quite, and they've become like exactly the same.
Chat about this.
They've become exactly the same as any of us and Craig.
Yeah, it doesn't
Right.
feel like Rory
They're-
and his dad.
It does, but it also feels like we're all his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
No, it feels like he's our son.
And he's
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah.
he's so like liberal in with us, and if he wasn't like it with Rory, it'd be really kind of weird. So I think he gradually realised that.
There is that weird thing when
There's-
you go you go like the Euro tunnel crossing, and you think like the guy that brought it clearly thinks we're a very very strange family, because it does just look like the dad's bringing his weird children onto
To
the
you.
island.
Sort of only fools and horses type of thing. Almost with a tall one.
But he's I mean
He's great.
Yeah,
We'd be
he's great.
buggered without him.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm sure there's still plenty of bands that probably still got their dads as a manager, and if it works, and if he knows what he's doing, because he was in bands before as well, anyway.
no, he's never been.
No,
No, that's a big lie
He's
that
a
he likes to
promoter.
tell.
as well.
He tells people he was in a band called Ralph and the Rat Repellents.
Yeah. He
which
used to
never-
write verses,
Another one of
he
your
used to write verses.
weird band names. I've covered that before. So right, okay, right. You say in some places that you cite African pop as an influence. Do you definitely? No, I was going to say sorry. You definitely have similar sort of jangly guitars and the beats and that to certain African bands, like some of the ones John Peel used to play, like the Bundu Boys and that. And is that deliberate? And where does that come from?
Not so it's deliberate, in more we've just happened to start liking it and listening to it, so it's kind of got in our heads. So
But I think there's a thing where people might think like listen to
We've
it.
tried to change or
Oh,
something.
we've kind of jumped on the bandwagon of the modern thing of like African influenced sort of indie.
I don't. Do you know what?
Is that a
Because
bandwagon?
no, I don't think there is
I
one.
think
since
stuff like
Vampire
that. Yeah, Vampire Weekend.
Since Vampire
But I
Weekend,
think
we opened
people
it
like
up.
Vampire Weekend and Paul Simon have made it accessible to the West, and so we're kind of we've just been introduced to it by that, and then we've dug deeper and found stuff like
so
Taylor
much
and people
stuff,
like that.
and like I spent most of my day the other day trying to find new stuff because it's not that easy to.
Yeah.
I mean,
find.
we're lucky now in that there's a lot of like European labels and stuff that are re-releasing or releasing current like Afrobeat or Afro funk stuff. And if you only have to, you can go in an independent record shop and buy a compilation of African music, and you can just instantly find millions of new artists to listen to.
Well, I mean, you know, when I used to listen to John Peel and he'd play that sort of stuff, I always thought, I honestly thought the future would be that you know, because you know, there's so many other types of music, you know, also come from Africa, but not necessarily the modern sort of those sort of guitar bands and that sort of thing. But well, maybe you should do a tour of Africa. You know, that'd be fun.
It's not just African music. We like South American music.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of a
English
natural.
music
It's a
as
natural progression because it's just we've always been happy, and that music is always just such a good party vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's more of a feel thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
than anything.
But yeah, I mean, why not tour around Zimbabwe or South Africa? You know,
So
I would
Zimbabwe
get so
would be
sunburned.
Yeah.
I just don't.
well,
But it's funny, like some reviews have said that we've just suddenly changed a bit. For as far as we're concerned, we've been doing it for
it's just
ages.
another kind of party music. I think
Yeah.
we were doing kind of punky pop. Now we're doing.
yeah.
It might
It's like
look
African
like
pop.
a big step away from the first album, but the songs that we've been writing in between have all been like
Yeah,
that.
the way we've kind of
Yeah,
crafted them's the same body.
Because I mean, obviously, you also mentioned like contemporary bands like Bombay Bicycle Club and a few others. But I mean, there's a couple of like 80s bands that I've always thought you were definitely influenced by, particularly like Bow Wow Wow with the first album, and well, Heck at 100. You sound like you're
Absolutely, I've got so much Heck at 100 vinyl. I love Heck at 100. I don't think any of you like.
I was going to
No,
say,
I
I think that's a really accidental one.
Yeah.
Right,
There's so many bands like people tell us about bands that
We've never heard
even the
of.
Haircuts, possibly. You know.
Like,
Well, this is the
Always
thing. I
say
mean, you know, at
music
80s, obviously, you're going back quite a long way now. I know, but yeah, no, it's definitely that
It's
sound.
only
Yeah.
fun,
But so what about Bow Wow Wow? You're not really.
I've
Never
never
listened
heard
to
of
I've
Bow
listened to
Wow
Bow
Wow,
Wow, but I haven't.
There's that sort of funkiness, I suppose,
I
about it.
guess
I mean,
we also have naked young girls in our front covers as well.
Maybe they just listen to the same people that we do.
Could be,
Wow, wow, wow,
yeah.
I think
yeah.
that's where the Vampire Weekend thing comes from. We get compared to them a bit, like some of the new stuff, and I think, like, yeah, we listen to them, but I think it's more down to listening to what they listen to.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And it just, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that was going to happen.
Oh, you should
Right.
answer.
Go away, Mum.
Hang on. Right. It'd be nice if I could edit this bit out, really.
Please answer it.
I was just coming to question 10 when we were gonna have a break anyway, because it's probably better to do it in 2 sections. But okay, number 10, and they're a little bit random. The second lot are probably a bit more sort of fun type questions, like we had before. But I've thrown this one in. Are you starting to making any money yet? I don't know if that's really a concern.
So we make it and then we get rid of it again.
Yeah, I mean, in
vanishes.
Europe, for the first time ever, we've actually personally taken some money from the band. Ever.
Yeah.
Like before, it was always just like, right, what have I got here?
Even
I'm
more
gonna
in
put
debt
it
now.
into this part of the band, and just like for the first time ever, we don't owe.
We don't owe any money.
Lots
and
of money.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, we might get a couple of p a day,
As a band.
but it's not. We can't live off it or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, you I presume you didn't go to university. So you
I
can
started
bypass-
at
yeah,
university.
Started and then
So I owe £5 grand.
Oh,
That-
right, okay.
you can clear that debt if you want, by the way, government.
The government.
Yeah, watch out, government. Right, but yeah, and you know you're not working either.
I am.
We work. We've got a job as well.
Jobs,
Okay,
yeah.
right, yeah. Because I mean, most
It's
bands seem
correct,
to
it
have
doesn't
other jobs as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, it must be difficult for you because you do tour a lot, don't you?
Yeah, we tour a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you try and convince an employer, when you start working, you're like, Oh, I can work this week, but next week I'm going away for 4.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But I can have my job when I come back.
Yeah.
Nice. You just got to find that job where
Special
it's
girl.
so.
Well,
Where-
yeah.
Where they understand what you're doing.
But I
and
Yeah.
mean,
accommodate it.
I suppose obviously, ideally, you want to be able to get to the stage where you're not going to have to do that. isn't
Of
it?
course,
But,
yeah. It just it takes a while.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills still.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, look, we'll call that half time. All right, game of 2 hours and that. So we have a break there.